Do not listen to another subliminal video until you have watched this video. In this video, I'm going to talk all about subliminals. You're going to learn how to use subliminals for your benefit, what to do, what not to do, and how subliminals can absolutely completely change your life and your physical appearance. I'm going to share all the science behind it, so make sure you stick to the end of this video to find out all about subliminals. Let's get started. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lisa. On this channel we talk all about manifestation, consciousness, subconscious mind, reprogramming our lives to live the best life here on earth. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Let me know in the comments down below where you are from. I always love reading where you guys are from. And let's get into subliminals. If you have been a devoted viewer of my channel, you know I've recently brought out a lot of subliminal audios, and the reason I'm doing that is because I've done my research and I found out how powerful subliminals actually are. And if you look at the results that people get, it is just insane. I've had people comment on my subliminal videos that they won like $50,000 after just listening to my wealth subliminal, or completely changing their physical appearance after listening to subliminals. So I kind of wanted to debunk what's going on with subliminals. How do they work? So what exactly are subliminals? I'm going to give you the definition of binaural nutrition. I found this essay on his page, and I'm going to link the original down below. But let's wear our nerd glasses for this. Okay, so subliminals belong to a broad field that combines both psychology and biology. They're mental processes or stimuli undertaken and processed by the subconscious mind without the active engagement of its conscious awareness. By listening to auditory subliminals/subliminal messages, we understand messages perceived below the absolute threshold level of conscious awareness. This is called the ATL. When subliminal messages are played repeatedly, they will first begin to affect subconsciousness, then indirectly conscious perception, and finally induce diverse mental and physiological changes. Subliminals have a vast potential to rewire the brain. A few days of exposure to subliminal stimuli is sufficient to perceive significant differentiations in the thinking patterns and behavior of the body. No wonder this phenomenon, I'm paraphrasing this because I didn't want to trigger the algorithm. No wonder this phenomenon was being researched in depth in the United States by the CIA. Numerous controlled studies have proven their influence on human behavior. The subconscious mind has 100-fold higher processing capacity than the conscious part. This is where it gets interesting. Research discloses that people who make decisions without engaging their conscious mind have an 80% less probability of making mistakes in stressful situations. I'm going to repeat this. Research discloses that people who make decisions without engaging their conscious mind have an 80% less probability of making mistakes in stressful situations. Since affirmations can program the subconscious mind by repetitive messaging, as a result, the subconscious will attempt to process all the necessary data essential to reach your goal, sort it and manifest it through your everyday conscious and unconscious choices, thus pushing you toward fulfilling your purposes and attracting coincidences. That's called a subconscious programming, conscious decision making dependent. So again, this is from Binaural Nutrition, and the original will be linked down below. So basically, we are rewiring our neural networks and reprogramming our brain by listening to these audios. And if this is your first time hearing about subliminal messages, subliminals can literally be added into any audio, and your conscious mind will not be aware of what you are hearing. So your conscious mind actually acts as a filter in day-to-day life of what gets to be, it's like the gatekeeper of the subconscious mind. So information first comes through the conscious mind and then into the subconscious. However, in the subliminal, your conscious mind cannot hear the affirmations. And if you can hear the affirmations, it's not a subliminal, it's an affirmation video. So You're not supposed to hear what's going on in a subliminal. This is also why it's so important to go to someone that you trust, that where you know that they're doing this with a pure heart and they're not trying to hijack your consciousness or do anything weird with it. So make sure you trust the person that you listen to in your subliminals. And so personally, when I make subliminals, I also kind of set the intention. I put intention into the subliminals. I add frequencies, binaural beats, and I also sometimes add rewire frequencies, which is works with the law of resonance. So basically, when you have a certain frequency that is playing and your brain hears it, it acts as like a tuning fork, and then your body kind of adapts to that frequency and then resonates at the same frequency. This is the law of resonance, and this is called entrainment. So everything that I'm sharing here today is actually physics, like it's proven by science, it's quantum physics. And so let's talk about first like the kind of like the mental processes that happen. So a lot of the times when you listen to subliminals repeatedly, and let's say it's a subliminal to manifest your dream life or have a glow up in your life, you will notice that you will start to have more positive thoughts. Some people listen to subliminals and immediately start feeling amazing. They start to feel uplifted. They start to feel happier. They start to literally feel limitless. And that is actually a perfect sign that the information is going into your subconscious. And so since your subconscious rules 95% of your reality, it will just pull that into your reality without you having to do anything. And something that comes through over and over and over, manifestation is not so much about the doing than it is about the being. There's a lot of teachings on manifestation these days that's like, oh, do this, write this down 3 times and then you get it. And I truly believe that everything is frequency. In our bodies, we resonate at a certain frequency. If you even look at the research of Masaru Emoto, who did, unfortunately, he's not with us anymore today, but he did all of this research on water, where when you speak to water and you offer words of gratitude and love, there's these, when the water is frozen, the molecules, there's these beautiful patterns of just, kind of like snowflake patterns of like sacred geometry, and it looks so beautiful, versus when you expose it to like heavy metal music or like hate and all of these things, like saying hateful words to it, then the atoms and the molecules will be completely disorganized. It will be kind of like a brownish gooish color, and it will not look great. Our bodies are made up of 70% of water, so think about it. Whatever you put into your body, into your subconscious mind, and we're not talking just food here, we're talking about the people that you surround yourself with, the things that you watch on TV, the things that you listen to. This is why I am very careful about what I consume on a screen, what I read. I have recently just gotten Netflix again, but I have made a pause of like 9 months of Netflix and I didn't even miss it. Like, I'm very conscious of what I watch, and when I watch TV shows or movies, I only watch things that are kind of very positive, because you will notice that these things affect you. Have you ever been in a movie theater and you went to watch a movie that's kind of like a little sad or a little dark? Once the movie ends and everybody's walking out of the theater, you can feel an atmosphere of just heaviness. Everyone's quiet, and there's just this dark atmosphere. It's because whatever you put into whatever you watch goes into your spirit. So it's so important to keep your auric field clean, to keep your spirit clean. And this is, the big corporations, they know this. And subliminal programming was so powerful that it was actually banned. The US and the Soviet Union did a lot of research on this. So it wasn't allowed to be used in advertising or anything, because it doesn't respect people's free will. Of course, I personally believe that subliminal messaging is still happening whether we know about it or not. So that's just something I want to say. Be very careful what you consume. As for the subliminals that you listen to on YouTube, use the ones where you feel guided to. Use the ones where your intuition just feels good about it. And then there's sometimes people that comment on subliminals like, I had a nightmare after listening to this. So there's the answer here is twofold. The first one would be that it is completely unrelated. You could have a nightmare from detoxing your body. You can have a nightmare from eating bad food. You can have a nightmare from just processing emotions in your body. Like, chances are high that it's completely unrelated to the subliminal. However, if it is related to the subliminal, maybe your subconscious is just processing things. It's not to say that, you know, what you listened to was bad, unless of course you engaged in content that isn't you know, created to uplift others. Subliminals are so powerful when recreating these neural networks and the way that your brain works. And I truly believe that things like anxiety and depression can be completely eliminated with subliminals. Actually, the CIA researched the subconscious and subliminal messaging in the 50s. This was a classified document, and it literally says that we are living in a hologram. And stick with me here because you're going to find out why this is so important later in the video. So they talk about reality being a hologram. The report specifically says energy creates, stores, and retrieves meaning in the universe by projecting or expanding at certain frequencies in a three-dimensional mode that creates a living pattern called a hologram. The concept of the hologram can be most easily understood by using an example cited by Bentov, in which he asked the reader to visualize a bowl full of water into which 3 pebbles are dropped. As the ripples created by the simultaneous entry of the 3 pebbles radiate outward towards the rim of the bowl, Bentov further asked the reader to visualize that the surface of the water is suddenly flash frozen so that the ripple pattern is preserved instantly. The ice is removed, leaving the 3 pebbles still laying at the bottom of the bowl. Then the ice is exposed to a powerful coherent source of light, such as a laser. The result will be a three-dimensional model of representation of the position of the 3 pebbles suspended in midair. Holograms are capable of encoding so much detail that, for example, it is possible to take a holographic projection of a glass of swamp water and view it under magnification to see small organisms not visible to the naked eye when the glass of water itself is examined. He then goes on to state, before our explanation can proceed any further, it is essential to define the mechanism by which the human mind exercises the function known as consciousness, and to describe the way in which that consciousness operates to deduce meaning from the stimuli which it receives. To do this, we will first consider the fundamental character of the material world in which we have our physical existence in order to accurately perceive the raw stuff with which our consciousness must work. The first point which needs to be made is that the 2 terms, matter and energy, tend to be misleading if taken to indicate 2 distinctly different states of existence in the physical world that we know it. If the term matter is taken to mean solid substance, as opposed to energy, which is understood to mean a force of some sort, then the use of the former is entirely misleading. Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of the atom and the nucleus itself are made up of nothing more than oscillating energy grids. This is where it gets interesting relating to subliminals. Solid matter, in the strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. Okay? This is the CIA sharing this. Rather, atomic structure is composed of oscillating energy grids surrounded by other oscillating energy grids which orbit at extraordinarily high speeds. In his book, Stalking the Wild Pendulum, Isaac Bentov gives the following figures. The energy grid, which composes the nucleus of the atom, vibrates at approximately 1022 hertz, which means 10 followed by 22 zeros. At 70 degrees Fahrenheit, an atom oscillates at the rate of 1015 hertz. An entire molecule composed of a number of atoms bound together in a single energy field vibrates in the range of 10.9 hertz. A live human cell vibrates at approximately 10.3 hertz. The point to be made is that the entire human being, brain, consciousness, and all is, like the universe which surround him, nothing more or less than an extraordinarily complex system of energy fields. The so-called states of matter are actually variances in this state of energy, and human consciousness is a function of the interaction of energy in 2 opposite states, motion versus rest, in a manner described in the following paragraph. Okay, so So in other words, in simple words, there is no such thing of matter. Actually, quantum physics states that if you were to take the entire matter of this universe, like solid matter, together, it would be like a pea size, because everything is energy and everything is frequency. So I'm not going to bore you with the science stuff anymore. Why is this important when listening to subliminals? This means that nothing is solid. This chair isn't solid. It appears solid as we are in this dense third-dimensional physical plane, but everything is actually, this is just, if you go to the atomic structure, this table right here is just energy, right? It's just energy vibrating, and everything is constantly moving, nothing is still. This also means that the way you look is not set. I know a person who once went to this energy worker, and his teeth, he was like 12 when his family went to see him, and he was of course skeptical, and his teeth were completely crooked, they were not aligned, and he was gonna go to a dentist, but first his family went to see this energy worker, and this guy literally said to him, "I am going to give you some braces." So he did something energetically, and he gave him invisible energetic braces, and I kid you not, I wish I would have photos, but that was back in the day when we didn't have cell phones. His teeth, I know him as an adult now, and his teeth look amazing. They look completely aligned, like he's had braces, or like his teeth were never crooked. And so some people that live on this planet have completely understood this, and they are able to either create matter or form matter or change matter with their consciousness. This is where you can see even yogis that spend their days and their lives meditating. They're able to have their hand imprinted. There's actually an imprint in a cave somewhere in the Himalayas. I don't know exactly where, but the hand is imprinted because the yogi was able to, with his hand, actually like move his hand through the wall. So there are so many things that we think of that, you know, that we've been taught as solid or things can't change. Those things are actually not true, and I truly believe that the kids that are being born now, they're so advanced and they come with this advanced ancient knowledge that we in this society, like maybe our past generations, the baby boomers and the millennials, like we weren't raised with this kind of knowledge, but the kids that are coming to this planet now are so much more advanced. Basically, back to subliminals, everything is energy. So if you have crooked teeth and you want to listen to a subliminal that changes your teeth, you can do that. And if you stick to it, repetitively listen to the same subliminal, what you don't want to do is, you know, one day listen to a teeth subliminal, the next day listen to, you know, a hair subliminal. Stick with one subliminal, like the same one for 21 days, or until you see your desired results, because results, like, first of all, are never guaranteed. Everyone's consciousness operates differently, but there are people who have seen results after listening for only 24 hours. And there are so many pictures on the internet. Like, I'm going to show you some pictures of lips completely changing based on subliminals. Noses completely changes, like the bump is completely gone after listening to a subliminal. And so just know that the way you look is not set in stone, and you also don't need to have surgery. You don't need to put your body through this extreme stress. Of course, you know, if that's what you want to do, if it makes you feel better, absolutely go for it. But I'm just saying there are different ways to actually change the physical expression of your body and the expression of your DNA. So DNA, this is called the field of epigenetics. Your DNA is not like, it can be changed, it can be modified. And this is also where we can have healing of the body. So just nothing is set in stone. If you have been, you know, diagnosed with like an incurable disease, you can heal that, which I did. You can change literally anything, and that is where we become limitless creators, and where the sky isn't even the limit. So if you guys want me to do more videos on subliminals, let me know. Share your experiences with using subliminals down below. I would love to know your experiences. You can even send me before and after photos on Instagram. And with that being said, if you want to go further in your manifestation journey and create the best life possible, reprogram your subconscious subconscious and literally become the most limitless creator of your life, I highly invite you to join our membership called Limitless. It's linked down below. I have a very special coupon code only for you guys. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.